So the question is, how do we get these answers? If you're looking at this video, it's because you're trying to figure out how we got the answers that are on the page. So here we go. So if I look at this one, greatest common factor, you always got to look first to see if that's there. In fact, it's there in all three of these. 2, 8, and 24. So I have a common factor of 2. I do not have a variable in common because that 24 does not have a variable. 2x squared divided by 2 is x squared. Minus 8x divided by 2 is minus 4x. And minus 24 divided by 2 is minus 12. Okay? So now, I'm going to two brackets here. Okay? And, well, the first one is always x and x. That's how I get x squared, is x times x. And then I'm looking for, let's grab the red here. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to give me negative 12 and add to give me negative 4. Okay? Now if they're going to multiply to a negative, you know that it has to be a positive number times a negative number. So my options are 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Now, I just said we know one of them has to be positive and one of them has to be negative. So I'm just going to write the numbers. You got to keep track what's positive, what's negative. And you step back and say, well, what if I had a negative 6 here? Right? Would 2 times negative 6 be negative 12? Yes. Would 2 plus negative 6 be negative 4? Yes. So that's my answer right there. Is a plus 2 and a negative 6. Plus 2 and a negative 6. Okay? And that's how we work that one out. Let's look at the second one. We're going to kind of build a little house around that one, save it for last. Let's look at the second one. Again, same thing, greatest common factor. Now, until this point, they've generally been positive, but when all three are negative, I might consider a negative, and in fact, I don't care about this one or this one. I'm going to use a negative common factor if the first one is negative, because what I'd really like is I'd like a positive inside the bracket. So I'm going to use negative 4, because I know that 4 goes into all of those. Negative 2 also goes into all of them, but that's not the greatest common factor. It's not the largest number we can use, right? So if I do that, that's y squared. See, that's what I want, is just a y squared, not a negative y squared. That's a positive 12y. And then that looks like positive 27. Negative 108 divided by negative 4 is positive 27. And then we're set up. Right? Y here and y here give me y squared. Okay? And now again, it gets very repetitive. I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to 27, add to 12. So they need to multiply to 27, and they need to add to 12. And because everything's positive, they need to be positive. Okay? Well, what multiplies to 27? That's the question. 1 times 27, 3 times 9. That's really my only option, so it better be one of those. And you'll notice 3 times 9, multiply to 27 and add to 12. So we get out the blue, plus 3 and plus 9. And there we go. Now we've factored it, broken it down into its factors. Negative 4, bracket y plus 3, bracket y plus 9. Okay, take a second, have a look. We'll go on to the last one. Again, you can pause the video at any time. All right, let's go on to the last one here. Grab this, kind of open this up here so we can go on. All right. Again, we are looking for that greatest common factor. Well, 7, 14, and 21 can all be divided by 7. But the difference here, I noticed all three of these have an x term as well, an x variable. So I actually have a greatest common factor of 7x. Okay? Not just 7, but 7x here, because there's an x in all of them. So I got to take 7x cubed and divide by 7x. that gives me x squared. I'm going to take 14x squared divided by 7x. 14 divided by 7 is 2x, because x squared divided by x to the 1 is x. And negative 21x divided by 7x is minus 3. Okay? And then repeating the process, 7x, x goes at the beginning. And I'm looking for two numbers now. The options are very limited here because I'm looking for two numbers that multiply to negative 3 and add to 2. Well, what multiplies to negative 3? I mean, 3's only got a couple of options, and that option is 1 times 3. That's it. 1 times 3. So which one's going to be negative? Well, this one's going to be negative because negative 1 plus 3 is positive 2. I mean, that's the only option we have is negative 1 and positive 3. And there we go. That's what we end up with. Okay? So that's how we did all three of those.